Hey y'all, we gotta have another conversation. Did y'all hear about Kanye West coming out talking about he essayed his younger cousin when they were younger? Y'all, let's talk about it. So, as the story goes, based on a song that he put out and some additional tweets that he put out on X, when Kanye was young, he and a younger cousin started to look at some very explicit magazines. In fact, Kanye is the one who introduced his younger cousin at the age of 6 years old. The younger cousin was 6 years old to these explicit magazines. Well, they started to act out everything they saw. So what that tells me is that they had some gender fluid magazines in there, because he said that they acted out everything they saw, right? And anyway, so they would continue doing this acting out until until Kanye was 14 years old, and then he told his younger cousin that they were no longer going to continue to reenact everything that they saw in these videos. In the song, Kanye gets pretty explicit about everything he did to his younger cousin. It's really sad, and it's really, really unfortunate, and it lends so many other questions, at least for me, to the state of his mental health. Well, time would go on, and I think they said just a couple years or a few years after Kanye, and actually Kanye's the one who said this, after he told his cousin they were no longer going to reenact the things that they saw in the magazines. The younger cousin went the bad way and ended up taking the life of a pregnant woman. It's not known for certain if the correlation between Kanye telling him or ending this relationship, because they were both minors, ending this relationship made his cousin feel some kind of way, or if the trauma itself from the acts of what they were doing made his cousin feel some way and kind of turned him into something he would not have otherwise been. It's unstated, right? However, Kanye makes a comment that he is in prison for the rest of his cousin's in the prison for the rest of his life, ever since he was a teenager, for taking the life of this woman, and how much he still loves his cousin. He acknowledges that he did something bad, but he loves his cousin. Despite what his cousin did. You guys, this is really super sad, because this is the part of essay that no one wants to talk about, and that is how people cope with being essayed, right? I talk about in my book, and even on this page, I have mentioned and even done the stories on men who have been essayed when they were young, and then they would later on become extremely violent beings because of the trauma that they endured and everything going on the inside of them. So this is just another super sad story about child essay that ended in such a tragic ending, a loss of life of a woman, a minor child ending up in prison for the rest of his life, and the predator, if you will, he was a child. Kanye was a child predator, because he was the older cousin of the younger and introduced this younger cousin to this, going on to be famous and becoming this billionaire. Drop your comments in the chat and let's talk about this. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.